Hello, I'm Mark Stubbs, General Manager of Farmers Electric Cooperative. One question we get asked a lot is how come some homes and neighborhoods have buried power lines and some are strung along poles? In this episode of Energy Matters, I'll explain why certain locations have different types of lines and the advantages of each. Let's start with overhead power lines. These are the ones we often see crisscrossing above our streets and neighborhoods. They're typically supported by tall utility poles. Overhead power lines have several advantages. They're generally less expensive to build and can usually be built faster than underground lines since there is no need to trench. Overhead lines are easier to access for maintenance and repairs. Because they're visible and accessible, linemen can quickly identify and address any issues that arise, minimizing outages. However, overhead power lines have some drawbacks. Overhead lines are exposed to extreme weather conditions such as high winds, lightning, and heavy snow or ice. These lines are also vulnerable to blinks when wildlife or tree branches contact the lines. Overhead lines can be unsightly and may interfere with the aesthetics of a neighborhood or natural landscape. Now let's shift our focus to underground power lines. These lines are buried beneath the ground, usually in trenches or in conduit. We bury them deep enough to keep the lines protected from surface activities like digging or construction. Underground lines are less susceptible to wind, lightning, ice, snow, and wildlife, which helps minimize power outages during storms. One of the primary advantages of underground power lines is their aesthetic appeal. Since they're hidden from view, they don't disrupt the visual harmony of a neighborhood or landscape, making them a popular choice in urban and scenic areas. However, underground power lines come with their own unique set of challenges. They're significantly more expensive to install and maintain compared to overhead lines. Excavation and trenching can be labor-intensive processes, driving up the overall cost. It costs approximately 3 to 5 times more per foot to construct underground power lines than overhead, which is why we see them most often in master plan communities where they can be rolled into the cost of a build-out. When underground lines do require maintenance or repairs, accessing them can be difficult and time-consuming. Our linemen often need special equipment to locate and access the buried cables, which can prolong outages. And underground power lines are not immune to issues like water infiltration or accidental damage from construction. Detecting and repairing faults in underground cables can be challenging, leading to longer restoration times. Eventually, underground lines still have to connect back to the pole. At this new home location in Emory, our crew dug a trench nearly 200 yards from the box at the house to the road to connect it back to the pole. At Farmers Electric, our goal is to provide a mix of overhead and underground lines to provide our members the highest possible quality of service and at the most reasonable price. If you have a topic you'd like me to address in an upcoming episode of Energy Matters, shoot me an email at energymatters@farmerselectric.coop.